In Lakesh Alakin. So, in my last episode, we spoke about meditation and starting a psychic circle. So, in this episode, we're going to look at the aspects of meditation, and then in the next episodes after that, we're going to follow the whole structure of how to set up this group and all that goes with it. So, firstly, meditation. What are the aspects of meditation? Well, there are many different ways to meditate. One can even do a walking meditation. But here we're looking at a meditation in a group, guided meditation. So firstly, what are the aspects of a successful meditation? So when we look at meditating, there's the first part. The first part is concentration. The second part is contemplation. And the third part is meditation, or what we call true meditation. So when we look at the first part of meditation, the concentration, there is a phase or phases or other aspects that we can add before that. And some people like to open up in a prayer. Some people like to open up in mantras, affirmations, some kind of connection just to get you going, to create the vibration. New Age music, Native Indian music, Mayan music, anything to uplift the vibration as you're starting your meditation. It's also good to note that sometimes it is important to have a shower to cleanse oneself before meditation. It does purify the aura somewhat and let go of some of the energies one has accumulated during the day. And it frees the thoughts and the mind from these negative energies. And burning smoke like Palo Santo, white sage, different incenses that are natural, these also help to create a vibration. So the first part, once we've had our prayer or our affirmation and invoked, we move to what is the first step, and that is concentration. So here we need to be focused on one object or one subject, subjectively, objectively. So we can take a subject such as something that is causing us stress, so that we can look at it in meditation and hopefully get an answer. Otherwise, what would be the point? And secondly, or even an object such as a rose or a lotus. So let's, for instance, as an example, take the image of a lotus. So the first part of meditation is the concentration, and this is very important. Concentration is like a key. You need to stick it in the third eye and turn to open it, to get the energies activated. So without any concentration, not much is going to happen. You can't just let the mind be blank and float away. So that first part, we're going to focus on a lotus. So with the first part of meditation started and with your eyes closed, you also want to be sitting comfortably, preferably, and importantly, the spine needs to be upright. So you want your spinal column relaxed, but you need it straight. And the reason for this is we need the energies to run along the spinal column and along the chakras and along the forces that are running around the body. Once those become active, one starts to see into the other world, or starts to perceive another reality in some way. So when we focus on this object, with our eyes closed, we imagine there is a lotus in our mind. We can see it as closed, and we can see it, or see it as opened. So this is a period where you need to concentrate for at least 2 minutes, plus minus. Not many people can concentrate long, but the more you do it, your concentration will start to improve, and it will allow those energies of the thoughts, the mental body and the astral body to start to align. Because it's only when there's real alignment that takes place that we start to open up intuitively. So the first part, we're concentrating intently on seeing, on imagining or repeating a word. We are creating this energy, or we are pulling a force in. So once this energy is created and we've focused intently on it, then we move to the second aspect of our meditation. And this is where you want the thoughts to become active, because what will happen in the future is your everyday thinking will move to a higher level and become intuitive. So it's almost as if the thoughts start speeding up and there's new thoughts that start pouring into the thought process. And when you're doing this, you can feel the subtle energies around you that are shifting, and that spirit is connecting either with your etheric body or with the chakras and trying to guide your process in whatever way, in a seamless way, really, almost as if spirit is one with you. Your thoughts become spirit's, or spirit's thoughts really become yours. And a lot of times you would think it's your thoughts. So the second part of meditation, contemplation. So this is where we think about the object that we've meditated on. So here we've meditated on the lotus. And as we know, in the West, the rose is symbolical of the lotus, and in the East, the lotus. So as we start our thinking process, we realize the lotus comes out of the mud and out of all of the dirt of the world, that it emerges out of the surface of the water. So it leaves the astral, the emotional body, and it moves up into the air, the ether, and then it starts to open up into the light. So all the dirt, all our experiences, all the good and the bad, create the nutrition, create the substance that make our life and our spirituality. And as the lotus emerges into the light, so does our consciousness, which is symbolized by the lotus unfolding and opening into the light. And very much, whether it's the crown chakra or the third eye, seen in the spirit world, it very much looks like that, like an opening of a flower or flower petals. So even when the third eye starts to open, and you can see it in groups, like a psychic circle, you will see light on people's third eyes or on the brow. And when you see this ray of light, sometimes a petal or petals are opening. They call them the seals. It's in the scriptures as well. So once these seals start to open, this reality starts to surface in our awareness, in our consciousness. And it's really just becoming aware and more aware what creates this awakening. So as we contemplate this lotus, it grows into perfection, and most times lotus is always perfect. It's very unusual that you will find one that is damaged in nature. They all come up perfectly into the light, and so it is with your spiritual growth. You want to emerge out of the darkness, out of the emotion, out of the confusion, and into the clear air, the light, so that we can use our mental bodies, our thought process, and it'll be the thought process that will bridge us to our higher consciousness, or to the oversoul, or to your master self, which is just above your head, about 30-40 centimeters above your head. And this center is where all the good that you've ever been or ever created is stored. It is like a true master guiding you. It is the true inner voice. So once you create this bridge, a new world really does start to open, a new reality. You start to live in two worlds, in this and the next. And so that contemplative process where you're thinking, there must come a point where you understand your subject to some degree, as much as that you can. So then we let go of our thoughts. So now we enter what we call true meditation. So true meditation is the place that we really want to spend or be for as long as possible. Almost imagine diving into an ocean or stepping into a cave where it's absolutely still and nothing can disturb you. No noises from outside, no distractions, no mosquitoes biting you. You've got to move past all these distractions and be focused on that inner awareness. And when your eyes are closed and you're looking within your brain area, you'll see it looks black or dark. But in that darkness, there is light, because the soul won't allow itself to really sit in a state of darkness. So there is always light in the eyes or the mind's eye that filters through into that darkness. So imagine we are sitting in that awareness, holding our focus on our brow, because it's sometimes in the early stages, it's easy to lose focus, where your mind starts to wander and go in different directions with the thought. So we really need to rein it in and bring ourselves to that still, quiet thinking. Imagine the ocean where you see these huge waves. That is really symbolical of the thoughts and our emotions. And imagine seeing the same ocean looking like a sheet of glass. So we really want the mind, that thought process, to be as still as possible, like a sheet of glass, so that we can actually see the reflection of ourselves in it. And So in this final stage of meditation, this absolute stillness, you'll go deeper in and become absolutely still, constantly being aware. So in this process, don't let your thoughts go into a nothingness. It's not sitting somewhere and we know where we're lost or we're not aware. You have to keep your focus within yourself. And if it's difficult to do it, focus on the brow chakra, or even behind within the center of the head in this point. When you actually feel the energy there that something's happening, it feels as if someone's pinching your skin on your nose or some kind of a tingling sensation, then you know we're filling up the fuel for the third eye. And it's quite a common experience that people have. You don't always necessarily have to feel it during meditation. It can come anytime. It just shows that you're starting to activate those centers that allow this to all take place. So to keep it simple, we're now in this very quiet spot of meditation, this realm of stillness. And it is in this quiet realm where we can hear the inner voice, where we can receive visions or guidance from spirit. Yes, your visions can come right in the beginning when you're praying, when you're breathing, when you're focusing, when you're contemplating. Spirit also, once you've meditated for quite some time, they're just going to plug into you and start to show you a matrix, download information or images. So it doesn't necessarily to say that in the quiet part is where you receive everything, but it's in that still part that your soul is bathed in cosmic energy. Once this cosmic energy starts to fall through over and over and over through the various bodies, so your physical, your astral, your mental, and your spiritual bodies, an alignment starts to take place. And then you feel this absolute sense of serenity, of peace. And peace is a real thing. I'm going to do a post on this, where I received intuitively a whole lot of amazing stuff, wisdom from spirit, and it was an incredible moment. So I'm going to share that as well, that personal experience. Now in the quiet part of meditation, this is where the soul drinks, this is where the soul bathes, this is where you become still. The more you practice this, month after month, year after year, it's easy to get to that place of stillness or alignment. It just becomes automatic. And that's another point. It's good to meditate at the same time every day. It's sunrise, sunset when the energies are most powerful, or late at night when it's quiet, or specifically on periods where the energy is amplified, such as the new moons or the full moons, the 2 days prior, so which is really a 5-day period. So the 5 days of the full moon, the 5 days of the new moon, and also taking into account the movement of other planets and how they affect our bodies and our chakras with positive or negative energies that are ready to shake us up or to allow us to move forward and grow in some way or another. So this quiet part of meditation is where the masters sit. We can think of all the yogis, the masters of India, the Master Jesus, when he was constantly meditating. This was the phase where he was going deeper and deeper, and you may enter a place where you feel like you've submerged into spirit, into the divine, but it goes further and further and further and further. It never stops until your body becomes magnetic, and then you have more control over what you're seeing and what you're doing and how to transmit thoughts and energy and other kinds of healing. So as long as we have an understanding that that final phase of meditation, the stillness, that awareness. So initially we might start with a concentration 5 minutes, the contemplation 5 minutes, and then the stillness another 5 minutes. That would give us roughly 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on what we do before or after. And that's about sufficient to start to get you going. So I'm going to also, at the end of this, go give an example of some guided meditations, and we're going to see the results that wherever you are following this, is anything coming through? Did it come through on the first meditation, the second, or the third? And how is it possible that we're not all sitting in the psychic circle, but we find ourselves all over the world and can manifest something of this kind? Well, that's something we're going to see later on. I hope you all join in for it when it does come around. So once we're through this final stage of meditation, of being absolutely still, when you come out of meditation, you should actually feel it. You should have a sense of peace of mind. All those rushing thoughts that never stop in your mind should be gone. You should sleep better, think better, and eventually it starts to have a physical impact, not just an emotional and mental. After the deep meditation or true meditation, we can end there, or we can continue with an affirmation in closing. Something that will close your aura off and protect you, doing a prayer, sending the energy out into the world in places of conflict where there needs to be blessings. So there's a lot that you can do with that energy at the end of meditation, but one needs to close off with a prayer or an affirmation. See that the astral is closed off, see that the chakras are closed off. Quite simply, you can just imagine the chakras as 4 petals from the crown chakra. Just see 4 petals closing, and then it's like a bud. The last chakra, the root chakra, we will keep open as we need to be grounded on earth. So that is the chakra we always leave open. And in closing them, we're just preventing energies from flowing in all directions unnecessarily, draining ourselves from the spiritual energies that we need in our own body. Even though it is limitless and continues to flow, you can drain yourself of energy. So it is good to close these energies off. It does help with the development of your psychic abilities and that. And so in our next episode, we are going to focus on how to set up the psychic class. So the first part, like I said, would be the meditation. So the meditation, where we've just given an example, the technique of how to do it, is to get the group all aligned. The energy is harmonized, everybody's energy is harmonized with each other. And there's many different kinds of meditations and processes that you can do to achieve that before the second part of meditation, or the second part of the group, which is the psychic development, the psychic circle part. So once everyone has meditated, they've achieved a sense of peace, there's even a possibility that visions will start coming through. So it's good to go around the group, starting with the person on your left, going all the way around the circle. If anyone has something interesting to share, did a vision come up in the meditation? Did they receive any enlightening thoughts? And what's quite interesting, I've just started a new group now. It's not long since I've moved. And it's quite interesting to start a new group, people that have never meditated. And this group, the first night we started, we had about 9 people. And I told them, look, it's going to take 3 weeks to 3 months before you start seeing things. And really in the first night, people were seeing visions, not only in the meditation, but in the psychic circle itself. So like I said earlier, we're lifting your vibration up to a much higher frequency. And the whole idea about that is that we start to see results where you all these things people speak about must start to come to light, and there must be some fruit of your labors here. So that concludes the meditation aspect. Like I said earlier, at the end of this, I'm going to give a few examples of meditations, maybe take you all on a meditation, and afterwards you can comment whether it's the first, second or third of the meditations we do, comment of what you've received, how was your experience. And also remember, like a cell phone, we don't need to be somewhere. We can phone someone, call them, or put it on video cam, and instantly we are there. So the same with meditation, there is no distance in the spirit world. There is no time. Time and reality change in the spirit world. So when we meditate, we can all connect at that moment. You with your spirit guides, my spirit guides and myself, and we can create that energy and see what the results are from this experiment and this exercise. That hopefully you can include it into your groups and have some successful development. you.